Yeah. I like to share the story of my grandma. She is from Xi'an. I was born in Xi'an, as a matter of fact. So she passed away at the age of 93. She was considered educated by her generation, but her and her friends, daughter, my aunt, they were very devoted people. It seemed to me that in Xi'an, you see more. So I wonder that's why Zhongnan Shan is so famous, being a hermit mountain.
Well, the reason Zhongnan Shan is a famous hermit mountain is Fangbian.
Oh,
It's been, well, because Xi'an or Chang'an
uh,
before it was the capital of many different dynasties,
mhm,
beginning in the Han Dynasty. That was the center of China,
mhm.
between Chang'an and Luoyang, and between Chang'an and Luoyang, just to the south of that road, are the Zhongnan Mountains. So it's always been, because the hermit tradition, you see, is part of society.
Mhm.
That's the important lesson, I think, that my book, I hope, would teach people, is that the hermit tradition is part of Chinese society. It's always been part of
Yes,
society. And the center of Chinese society 2,000 years ago was right near the Zhongnan Mountains, was Chang'an.
yes.
And naturally the Zhongnan Mountains would be the place where you would see these people who want to find a period of solitude for their lives, but they don't want to be divorced from society. And so the Zhongnan Mountains were a perfect place, 20 kilometers away, and you can be completely alone for a while.
Yes. Are there any tigers or bears or animals there?
I've never met tigers, but I have met bears in the Zhongnan Mountains. I mean, but we're talking 1989,
Uh-huh.
1990. I mean,
Yes.
I doubt, and of course, there are lots of boars, wild
Oh,
pigs.
uh,
Um, but nowadays, it's really hard to find any wild animals in the Zhongnan Mountains.
yes.
When there was another Buddhist nun
Uh,
who had a hut near Zhouhuashan,
uh-huh.
and I visited her over the course of about 10 years. I would visit her every 2 or 3 years. And the first two times I visited her, there were always tiger footprints in her garden. She said there was a family of tigers that would visit her. And the last time I visited, though, there were no more footprints. She said the tigers have gone.
I
So,
see.
so and so we're talking in the 1990s. There were definitely tigers. The South China tiger, is a small tiger.
Mhm.
It's the size of a large dog. So not like the Siberian or the Indian Bengal tigers.
Uh-huh.
So there were tigers too in in recent times. I used to see their footprints, but not anymore. I don't
So
see.
they're
There are
pretty
no.
safe up in the mountains.
Yes, yeah. The only thing you have to worry about in the mountains are people.
Oh, I see.
People are
Yes.
the biggest danger. There's still people who might hurt somebody.
What about their hygienes and the garbage they produce? How do they deal with these things?
Well, the reason this too, garbage is a serious problem
Hmm.
for here in modern society, but that's because of course, we deal with modern packaging,
Hmm.
lots of plastics and so forth. Whereas hermits, is is the food and maybe cooking utensils and things like that. So they don't have the problem in throwing things away that
Hmm.
we do.
Mm.
Um, and hygiene, I mean, they all have toilets, but it's not. It's they dig a hole,
Mm.
uh, or they use a cliff, the edge of a cliff, and then have the outhouse near the cliff. Um, but it's just one person produces not that much in the way of feces, and they also use that in their gardens.
Hmm.
They
Human
add water.
manure.
Yeah, to
Yes.
make they add some water and straw, mix it up and use it in their gardens.
Oh, I see. So they use as fertilizer.
Yes, exactly. Yes, they recycle.
Yeah.
They recycle their garden. They
Yes.
recycle their own human waste.
What about water? Where did the water come from?
Well, first of all, when you go into the mountains, you have to find a place to live. You have to find a location, and so you would never build a hut. You would never have a place to live or choose a place to live that did not have access to some water. And of course, in the mountains there are springs, mountain springs, and so you locate your hut near a spring,
Yeah.
or you sometimes you put pieces of bamboo together to make a series of pipes to a spring, and sometimes it could be like 100 yards to a spring.
Yes.
So, but maybe there's a spring right near your hut, or maybe it's 100 yards away. But you have to locate your hut near a water source. Also, very important, you have to have access to firewood. And so you need a territory around your hut, just like a wild animal in a mountain needs a territory that it hunts in. And so hermits also can't live that close together. They need a territory where they can gather dead trees, dead tree branches. It's very rare also for example, a hermit I've never heard of a hermit cutting down trees for firewood. The firewood all comes from dead trees. But sometimes they'll cut down a tree if they're going to make a hut, to use the wood to make some furs of a hut. Then they'll cut down a tree. So those are the two most important things in locating your hut: water, firewood.
Yes, I also listened the interviews you had. Some people use cloths to filter the water to make it cleaner, and some people use kerosene oil as a light. Is that still the case?
Well, it used to be when I was first interviewing hermits, there were four things that every hermit could not produce by themselves, and they needed to get from the outside. First of all, they needed a staple, which was rice in southern China and wheat flour in the north. To make noodles. And then you needed salt. And the reason you needed salt was to preserve vegetables so you could survive in the winter.
腌菜.
Yes, and then you need cooking oil so you could cook, because you get, sometimes you wanted to fry something. And then in the old days, you needed kerosene, as you said, for a lamp. Nowadays, most hermits, not most hermits, but many hermits have solar panels.
Yes.
That they use for a couple of lights, both for their hut, maybe a shrine hall, and maybe even for the toilet. So if they go to the toilet at night, there'll be a light there that is powered by a solar panel. And you even meet hermits who have cell phones.
Yes.
And they'll use the solar panel to charge their cell phone.
Yeah, that's very advanced.
It is. But they don't have a cell phone like city people. A city person has their cell phones on all the time.
Yes.
Usually a hermit will turn on their cell phone usually one day every week.
Yes.
And everybody knows if you want to call that hermit, this is the day you call that hermit.
Yeah.
Certain days, certain hours, they'll turn their cell phone on because they don't go into the mountains to be in touch with them.
Yes.
To be social. But I do find that more and more hermits do have a cell phone that they could use. They could call up somebody down the mountain and say, I could use some more wheat flour. Could you bring me some?
Yeah. So it's almost like an emergency contact.
Yeah, it is. And usually the reason they have a cell phone is they don't buy the cell phone. They have disciples.
Yes.
Every hermit will have a few people who help support them.
And
and they will usually bring them, Shifu, here's a cell phone. So if you ever need something, call us and we will bring it for you.
Yes. 宣化法师 said they don't beg for food, so people 供养. There are many people 供养. So it's the same thing with hermits. There are people who support them.
Yes, that's true.
So you mentioned that you like ancient China. Watching the documentary of you going to Zhongnan Shan, I feel their life is like ancient Chinese. Would you say so?
Yeah, sure. It's simple. It has to be simple. The more complex your life, the more things you have to have, the more work you have to do to get those things and to keep
Mhm.
those things in repair and so forth. And so the people who go to the mountains want the simplest possible life.
Environmental conscious and organic lifestyle.
Incidentally, but
Yes.
that's not the goal. Their goal is not to be environmentally conscious.
Yes.
Their goal is to create and to
Cultivate.
maintain
Yeah.
a simple life.
Yes.